Hey, what? Why is how is it
Hello?
moved up?
I'll do it.
Uh-uh.
Woo
Hold on.
woo.
There we go. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, hey.
I see a few people over here already.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. Hey, Kisa. Hello.
Kisa.
Let's see. Whitechapel, who is not the band, but I pretend is a band, even though I know exactly who you are.
Sausage Jack.
Sausage Jack.
Sausage Jack.
Hey, Nadine, what's up?
Nadine.
Should have brought the. Wait, darn. Gather around, the fire's warm. Yeah. When we say that, it's because we could actually smell the smoke now.
Yeah, that's what I put up there.
No, I know. So Kisa said, darn, I should have brought chocolate, marshmallows, and graham crackers.
Yeah.
Yes, Kisa, I know exactly who it is, but I still would like to pretend that it's the band. I know who it is.
All right.
I've known for a long time, even before they came to me and said, do you know that's me?
Who was that? Oh, yeah.
I'm completely clueless. I just go with it.
I just have fun.
Yay.
Hey, I recut my bangs.
Yay.
All right, let me go ahead and start this.
Aha.
Ha ha. Hi-ya.
Oh. I'm wearing my Naruto shirt. Hello.
Hello. There we go.
Oh,
That's the one thing I don't like about Restream is that it doesn't start right away.
We're working on it. I've gotten it
Well-
kind of figured out a little bit more than I did previously.
No,
so.
the two drawbacks of Restream is the storage space, and the videos literally don't start. I mean, the show doesn't start when the video ends. You have to manually do it. Other than that, it's
Yeah.
way better.
I'm working on it. I think I can get a smooth transition. I've been getting decent transitions through it.
But I'm the one who's running the podcast. I'm just kidding.
I'm talking about Mike though.
All
right,
So, hello and welcome to You Can't Sit With Us. I'm Hex's Damon. That is Akia Damon. And there is Mother de la Mort.
guys, look
And
at
we
our
are
threads.
covering Roswell 47 Part 2 tonight.
Yes.
part two.
Part
deux.
deux.
Duh.
And then it's gonna be part trois.
Twa.
Omelette deux. Le trois.
Deux, trois, quatre. Wait, did I go German?
It's marked safe from people picking crops or something. I don't know.
Jesus Christ, dude. Just fucking say it. Just say it. No, not you. I mean,
I don't think I'm gonna have a friend after that conversation.
well, you know what?
I'm
You know what?
sorry.
That mother. Never mind.
I'm just kidding.
Look, that is not the first time I've seen that said. And I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. You're going with this argument?
I have been waiting.
I got rid of the dread.
For-
Melissa. Look.
I have been waiting for 4 years. I'm sorry. I've been waiting for almost 5 years for this argument to come back up.
So that I can
And
tell him that he called you a Nazi and he's a piece of shit for
No,
it.
not that. I'm just saying in general, with the liberal side of things, of the argument of well, if we send the illegals back, we won't have anybody to pick the crops or and they'll go bad in the fields. Excuse me, I've been waiting for 5 years for this, so we're all getting in on this. Here we go.
I'm sorry. That is I'm gonna put it out there, and I don't care if any of you fucking agree with me or not. That is fucking racist.
It's a slaver's argument. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Literally, it was argued to the Congress.
Look, I know the
In
guy.
what was it, 1863 or something?
Yeah.
I know the guy. He's not racist, but he
Sure has some racist views.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just the arguments by the left. They're not well thought out with the core being of things. Yeah, they're very good to have a flashy word or phrase that comes up in front of you, and everyone wants to get behind it because it does sound right. But then when you think about it, you're like, wait a second, they made that exact same argument pre-1864. And what was the argument pre-1864? Slaves. We need slaves. That was the argument for the Democrats in 1864. And
Which
that's
is
what
bullshit.
And we had a civil war about it.
Yep.
And so I haven't looked today because I'm not going to respond anymore.
Oh, it is what it is.
I'm just not going to.
So
to that round of logic.
Oh, I just love. I'm sorry. The last comment I really saw was logic.
No, I don't have logic. I'm here to look at titties and post messed up reels. That's what I'm
and make shit posts.
Yes, there is no logic behind it. It's straight chaos. This is what happens when you have two pagans and a Satanist become conservative, or not conservative, just become Republicans.
It's actually centrist. You can get anywhere in near the middle. That's pretty much where it's at.
I'm just middle. I'm a middle person. I'm not the I'll stay out of the arguments people. I am the okay, I agree with something over here. I agree with something over here. But all of you extreme assholes are fucking.
Well, you know what the best part about all this is? We're finally coming out of that era, or the error, which is what was the Biden administration.
Big wah error. Wah.
We're finally coming out of that era.
Which one is it?
I don't know. We're finally coming out of that era where okay. I don't know. I lost my thought. Sorry. Anyway, Roswell 47.
I just chose one. All right. So, wow, we left off
with the complete chaos in the sky. Instead of fire in the sky, it was chaos in the sky. Did you bring your visual?
The movie we brought
Yeah.
the
No,
we brought
this is where we left off.
Okay, so this is where we left off, guys. And for those of you listening to this on the podcast side of things,
You have no earthly idea what we're talking about.
we have the 3 different ideas here, which there were more, but like 3 of the basic ideas. Ready weather balloons,
Mhm.
and it was carrying this cloth.
Meteorological.
Yeah,
Wasn't it meteorological?
like
Yeah.
equipment that would tell like if it got hit or like the wind and all that kind of stuff. That's why we have tassels. Then
It looks like a sky jellyfish.
it's a jellyfish. Then we have the idea of we found aluminum foil, some twigs, maybe a candle. That's what I'm assuming it was holding it up. And what you can't see is the scotch tape right here.
Who's been on revolting?
Who's gonna revolt? I'm in
What?
for a good anti-revolt.
Because if they're trying to say people are revolting against like all the immigration stuff here in California, they are absolutely not.
Nah.
No, they're not.
It's not happening one bit. There is no protest. There's nothing going on.
Mr. Giggles.
You know what it is?
I'm here
It's
in
somebody sitting behind a keyboard going, "There's protests in the streets." No,
See,
there's
and
not.
if they would just
And
do,
there's
if they would just make them into
There's
flashy reels, it would go out there further.
And then
Don't give them any ideas.
I know.
And then we have the parachute, which was probably shaped
Uh-huh.
differently back there. Back then, it was more rounded back then. With the anthropomorphic, uninvented crash test dummies.
Which would have been actually a corpse at that time, probably.
Yes, which would likely have been a corpse.
Yep.
So there you go, guys.
A really tiny, ugly. What was it? A really tiny, deformed Russian, like
Wait. I gotta find it.
astronaut or
Real fast,
something.
it's only tiny and deformed because you guys have been misled on what actual inches are.
Hold on. I'm gonna find it.
Kisa, why you the sad face? Oh, that's for Mr. Giggles.
Where is it?
Hey, Mr. Giggles.
Because we talked about Hangar 18.
Hangar 18.
Yeah, I think we're down to UFO conspiracy theories, 1947 to 78. I think.
We are, but I am looking
We're gonna get a little
for
watching me come a god in here.
you take a mortal man.
Can you do a search on page?
Life? What do you mean life? I ain't got a life. Your soul better belong to Jesus, cause your ass belongs to me. Captain Vano ain't no honor.
I have no earthly idea what's
Make
going
that.
on right now. It's like chaos in the
I know
sky.
exactly what it is, but I'm still like,
Someone say chaos. Hey, everybody.
ugh.
Chaos with the 3 Ks.
Okay, that was a good one. Woo! Okay, let's go back. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't find the tiny, ugly people.
Russian cosmonaut or some shit. I can't remember.
Tiny, ugly cosmonauts.
Where do we leave off? Are we
well,
looking
we
for that
know
right
We know where some of it is. Hold on.
now? It feels like it's been like 5 years and it's only been a week.
Grotesque child-sized aviators.
There you go. That's what it was. I want to go with that one. That was like super interesting.
That's my favorite. Grotesque.
Can we have like a day where we worry about, instead of like it raining cats and dogs or something, that it's
worried
just
about
small,
grotesque
grotesque-
child-sized aviators falling down?
Yes,
Fucking
that would actually really make my day.
like 5 foot tall or 4 foot tall Bidens falling out of the sky with aviator glasses on. Hey man,
And they don't know which way they're going.
man. Oh man. Oh man. Come on, man.
Look,
Oh
it's
man.
corn pop.
They're just running around the desert. Oh man, what's up, man? Hey man, what's going on, man? Oh man. Oh man. Man, that's just wrong, man.
So okay,
Oh
so
my
we
goodness.
What?
Russian melon heads. Oh man. So we ended off talking about Hangar 18, which is why we started quoting
Yeah, wasn't Hangar 18 the conspiratorial thing or something
Yeah,
like that?
so,
Wasn't it? What was the deal with it again?
Hangar 18 was a non-existent location that many conspiracy theorists would say was housing the extraterrestrial crafts and bodies recovered from Roswell. But Hangar 18 was actually a location that was created in a science fiction book, and then it was later added into a second science fiction novel. There was one from 1966, which was called The Incident at Exeter. And then there was another one, which they actually based their book on Incident at Exeter. And it was called The Fortic Conspiracy. And that was from 1968. And so 1966 and 1968, because I feel like I said 86 on accident. But Fortic was about like a fictional
84 to 1984 lasted for the last 9 years, and we're finally out of that.
Fortic.
Hey, 86 was fun.
Yeah, 86 was a good year.
It was a good year.
Someone was born in 86.
Some of us graduated high school in 86.
I was in second grade in 86. Wait, was it? No.
I was born.
I was in first grade. No, I was in second grade in 86, I think. I don't know.
So a family story.
So I would have stole your lollipop.
A family story here.
Punched me in the face when I was in the bassinet or whatever. Bassinet.
Bassinet, huh?
What's it? The Karen bassinet.
That big Carol Bassinet.
Karen. What did I say? Karen. I'm not even
Carol Bassinet.
What is the
Hey, Sean.
What is the baby carrier thing called? A bassinet? Is that what it is?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Not a bassinet.
Odd mother would have punched me in the face in the bassinet to get my lollipop.
I would have. I would have.
I just have a great story. My mom asked my stepdad one time, "Where were you when I was 16?" And he goes, "Kindergarten." I'll just leave you guys with that. I don't even need to give extra context.
Wait, your mom said that to who?
Jason.
Ooh.
My stepdad.
Well, whatever.
And he was all kindergarten. So anyway. We ended up talking about Hangar 18, which again was a conspiracy theory, supposedly. And it was a location that did not exist in Roswell. It did not exist in the military base. There was no Hangar 18. So it was utilized in two different books that were science fiction and somehow ended up as part of the Roswell lore. Well, not somehow. The book was intended to be like that. So now we're in the conspiracy theories from 78 through 94. And last episode, we had gone on to the Air Force website and they were like, well, we have decided that, let me see. I'll just do the conclusion again. Air Force activities, which occurred over a period of many years, have been consolidated and are now represented to have occurred in 2 or 3 days in July of 1947. Aliens observed in the New Mexico desert were actually anthropomorphic test dummies. Remember, test dummies weren't even created until 53. Just remember that. Test dummies were not even invented until 1953. And this was 1947. So go with whatever you want there. but that were carried aloft by U.S. Air Force high altitude balloons for scientific research. The unusual military activities in the New Mexico desert were high altitude research balloons were high altitude research balloon launch and recovery operations. Reports of military units that always seem to arrive shortly after the crash of a flying saucer to retrieve the saucer and crew were actually accurate descriptions of Air Force personnel engaged in anthropomorphic dummy recovery operations, which weren't invented for another several years. Claims of alien bodies at the Roswell Army Airfield Hospital were most likely a combination of two separate incidents that actually took place after. One, the 1956 KC-97 aircraft incident, which 11 Air Force members lost their lives. And two, the 1959 manned balloon mishap, in which 2 Air Force pilots.
That sounds awful.
The manned balloon mishap.
Is that kind of like can we please find that video of the guy jumping off the Empire State Building? Now that's a mishap.
Franz, I know it's not Liszt. That's the musician guy. He does awesome classical music. Here we go. So, Nadine, not test dummies, medically altered disabled people to look like aliens.
Aliens.
Tiny grotesque. What was it? Tiny grotesque.
Grotesque
aviators.
Child-sized aviators.
Aviators.
Grotesque child-sized aviators.
That's how it always goes.
Why am I just picturing sunglasses at this point?
I'm just picturing the kids.
I don't know. It was like a test for DB Cooper.
I'm now picturing the kids from a hostel running around asking for candy falling out of starships and stuff. Elon Musk's starship running on certain hand gestures that we can actually say now on Facebook.
Hey. Pick a tweet. That's still the cutest thing ever, but still horrible. What was that series called again? The Halloween one? And then the little alien, he comes down so he could trick or treat, and he's standing there.
Yeah,
and then he gets snapped.
I remember what you're talking about, but I don't remember like the context around it.
You're getting your ass kicked.
Did your ADHD go off? You're getting your ass kicked on the train by aliens.
No, I saw it come up and I was like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
So
okay, wait.
What? Remember
I'm getting sidetracked by what is going on at the bottom of our feed.
It's a Rick and Morty reference. Remember the highest truth of them all. You're getting your ass kicked on a train.
I've been focusing on this ticker for the last 20 minutes trying to get it right because of my ADHD and my OCD, trying to make sure this is spelled right and everything.
I was gonna say, wow, we haven't even been on for 20 minutes, and then I looked up and it says 35, and I was like, okay, maybe you have. I guess you have. I was wrong. All right, here we go. Roswell conspiracy theories from 78 to 94.
Everyone else uses tickers to sell stuff. I use it to be stupid.
He uses it to do more shit posting.
Interest in Roswell was rekindled after ufologist. What the fuck?
Ufologist.
It sounds like they put fingers up pee holes and stuff.
A ufologist, Stanton Friedman, interviewed Jesse Marcel, who, by the way, Jesse Marcel was a major. Yes.
Marcellus Wallace.
Jesse
Marcel Marceau.
Sorry.
Jesse Antoine Marcel Sr. was a major in the United States Air Force who helped administer Operation Crossroads in the 1946 atom bomb test at the Bikini Atoll. Or atoll.
I don't know how.
Tiny island.
I don't know how they pronounce that. I mean, that is what an atoll is, or an atoll.
Yeah,
it's tiny islands.
Yeah, I know what it is. I just always feel weird about saying it.
Hoppable islands.
Yeah. So Marcel had accompanied the Roswell.
Are they kind of
debris-
shaped like titties?
I would hope so.
Well,
This is
I guess
America,
they
for
have
God's
a-holes.
sake.
The titty islands.
They are the bikini. They're going to be held up by something. I mean, or holding something up.
Maybe.
Big ass.
Well, it is the
titties.
Bikini Islands.
We didn't fight in WW2 for nothing.
Well, okay, so to be fair, they took away the O in UFO, Kisa. And so that's why I say I was jokingly calling it a UFOologist last time, but they didn't put UFOologist, so it's ufologist.
I thought Kisa put UFO orgy, and I was like, well, that's going to smell like sourdough.
Ew, babe. Okay, I'm going to start this over again. Interest in Roswell was rekindled after ufologist Stanton Friedman interviewed Jesse Marcel, who I mentioned was a major in the United States Air Force. And he actually helped administer Operation Crossroads, which we can get into later. The 1946 atom bomb tests at the Bikini Atoll. In 1978, Marcel had
Titty Islands.
and the Titty Islands.
The Titty
Marcel
Islands.
had accompanied the Roswell debris from the ranch to the Fort Worth press conference. In the 1978 interview, Marcel stated that the weather balloon explanation from the press conference was, in fact, a cover story, and that he now believed the debris was actually extraterrestrial. On December 19th, 1979, Marcel was interviewed by Bob Pratt from National Enquirer. So, of course,
Oh, that's legit.
Totally legit. And the tabloid brought about large-scale attention to the Marcel story. Okay, I'm sure it did. And that following February, Marcel described a foil that could not be crumpled but would uncrumple when released. On September 20th, 1980, the TV series In Search Of, hosted by Leonard Nimoy. Sorry.
Yeah, can you get that, please? Sorry.
I wanted the extra view and to be able to go on there.
But I had it on the Psycho Bunny one for you, so it wouldn't ding.
Yeah, but that doesn't give us a view. So the TV series In Search Of, which was actually hosted by Leonard Nimoy, you guys would know him from Star Trek.
Yeah,
I actually remember this show.
He also made an awesome song about hobbits, which was fucking amazing. If you find it on YouTube.
He was also Sentinel Prime.
Yes. Well, he was also freaking Galvatron before Frank Welker took it over.
Yes. Well, no.
No, yes. The Transformers, the movie, he was originally Galvatron before Frank Welker took it over for the show. And then the crazy thing was Megatron is Frank Welker, and Megatron became Galvatron.
Is Galvatron.
But two different actors play him. Da da da.
Anyway, Leonard Nimoy was awesome.
Yes,
We
I
miss
fucking
him.
love Leonard Nimoy.
We miss him. We miss Spock. So the interview aired where Marcel described his participation in the 1947 press conference. They wanted some comments from me, but I wasn't at liberty to do that. So all I could do was keep my mouth shut. And General Ramey is the one who discussed and told the newsman, that it was, or what it was, and to forget about it. It's nothing more than a weather observation balloon. Of course, we knew differently. Ufologists interviewed Major Marcel's son, Jesse A. Marcel Jr., MD, who said that when he was 10 years old, his father had shown him some flying saucer debris removed from the Roswell crash site, including a small beam with a purple-hued hieroglyphic on it. However, the symbols described as alien hieroglyphics match the symbols on the adhesive tape that Project Mogul sourced from a New York.
Did it say 3M?
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to say this one more time. Excuse me. They're trying to tell us this is fucking alien.
Oh, it gets better. It was from a New York phone manufacturer that they sourced the tape from.
You can see the Christmas wrapping paper still stuck to the Scotch tape too, right?
Probably.
It's aliens, guys,
Aliens.
from Santa's workshop.
That's all that Santa. That's the only logical reason for Santa, is he's an alien. That's the only explanation. So to push,
And those were actually elves that were aviators.
Yeah.
yes. The
Tiny, child-sized, grotesque
grotesque
aviators.
child-sized aviators are in fact aliens
They're
and elves.
They are very sniffable by Biden. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, let's not.
Let me just go ahead and
Let's not. That's right in my ear, and it's uncomfortable, and I don't like it. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop. That's directly in my ear, and I don't like it.
Technically, everything's in our ear right now. We have headphones on.
Hence why I'm saying it. So, to publish his research, Friedman collaborated with a childhood friend and author, William Moore, known as Bill. So, William Leonard Moore is an author and a former UFO researcher, prominent from the late 70s to late 80s. He co-authored 2 books with Charles Berlitz, including the Roswell incident.
He sounds like a building, Bill Moore. Yeah, just go over to the Bill Moore. We're gonna have the show tonight where aliens are kicking our ass on a train.
Well, okay, so now I got to start that sentence over again. To publish his research, Friedman collaborated with his friend from childhood, author Bill Moore, who who had reached out to established paranormal author Charles Berlitz, who was an American polyglot.
What the? A what?
An American polyglot.
Is that like a dude with extra thumbs?
Not a polyglot. So a polyglot is somebody who speaks multiple languages.
Fuck off! It should be
okay.
With extra thumbs.
So like he can actually he's the type of person who, when he's writing a book, he will be able to be the one to translate it himself into the other languages instead of having another person take it and translate it and maybe switch it around so they feel that it fits the not the narrative, but that it fits their style of language. He's able to do that himself so that he can basically get what his information was across.
God, I hope this doesn't get popular on the aliens planet, because then he's got to transcribe it into their language.
Well, Berlitz had previously written about the Bermuda Triangle, and had collaborated with Moore to write about the Philadelphia experiment.
That's the other one we were thinking about last time.
Yes.
We just had to read further down the notes and we couldn't think of the name.
Well, crediting Friedman only as an investigator, Moore and Berlitz co-wrote the 1980 book, The Roswell Incident. It popularized Marcel's account and added the claimed discovery of alien bodies found approximately 150 miles west of the original debris site on the plains of San Augustine. Augustine?
Where you at?
The way that they spelled it is weird.
San Augustine.
Augustine or Augustine?
Augustine.
It's Augustine, not Augustine.
Yes, not Augustine.
Oh, okay.
So Marcel never mentioned the presence of bodies, by the way.
Well, no.
They just added it
No
probably
elves.
for flourish. No elves. No grotesque childlike aviators.
We're going to leave this open, is what he said. We're just going to let this is open source. People can just add to this if they want to.
Well, Friedman, Berlitz, and Moore also connected Marcel's account to an earlier statement by Lydia Sleppy, a former teletype operator at the COAT, so KOAT radio station in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Sleppy claimed that she was typing a story about crashed saucer wreckage as dictated by reporter Johnny McBoyle until interrupted by an incoming message ordering her to end communications. Between 1978 and the early 90s, UFO researchers such as Friedman, Moore, and the team of Kevin D. Randall, Kevin D. Randall is an American ufologist, science fiction, and historical fiction writer. He's also a military veteran. And Donald R. Schmidt interviewed many people who claimed to have had a connection with the events at Roswell in 1947. So this generated competing and conflicting accounts. Therefore, they tried to do a cease and desist on each other.
You shut up. No, you shut up.
I'm making this up, damn it, not you.
No.
You're not allowed to make it up. I can only make it up. God, I'm the only science fiction writer allowed around here. Your science fiction is wrong. Oh, man. So, the Roswell incident. Dun, dun,
Bum, bum,
dun.
bum.
The first Roswell conspiracy book released in October of 1980 was The Roswell Incident by Charles Berlitz and Bill Moore. Anthropologist Charles Ziegler described the 1980 book as version 1 of the Roswell myth. Berlitz and Moore's narrative was the dominant version of the Roswell conspiracy during the 80s.
Was it the 70s or the 80s? It was like the heyday of the like abductions and all that stuff and all the
80s.
Was it?
The 80s was the abductions. The late 70s was when you started seeing all this like Bigfoot and actually, you know, UFO sightings.
Yeah.
But the abductions really started coming in or were
80s and
really
90s.
hot during the 80s and the early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. I still remember I was talking about this the other day with somebody. I don't know how, but we started talking about soap operas. And I was like, do you remember? Because I would stay home sick and my mom would always be watching Days of Our Lives. So I was always stuck watching Days of Our Lives. And there was an episode where the town that they lived in got invaded by aliens.
No way. Oh
There was
my
a
God.
UFO landing. And that's probably the only episode that I barely remember. I mean, I remember like, oh, Stefan is a new actor, therefore he had a lot of plastic surgery. But like, I remember that they had an alien invasion.
Oh my God.
And this is in the 90s. This was like mid 90s. This was at the height of X-Files.
It was like the speaking of that, Nadine said there's a I saw her comment come up about a new season or new episode of X-Files.
I saw an advertisement for that.
Yeah, I need to get caught back up on it. X-Files is like one of my favorite shows of all time, especially that show introduced me to Danzig. Seriously, it introduced me to Danzig with the Halloween episode from the first season. They started playing.
Didn't they try this like just a few years ago? And they only did like a few episodes or something?
They did a mini
For some reason.
It was a
Okay,
mini-series.
that's what it was. Okay.
They weren't starting back up again. Honestly, I'd love to see David Duchovny come back and do California with a K. That movie's awesome.
Do you know what episode?
That was a good movie.
I just thought of it, which is why I went. Bleh.
The one with the reptile guy who could stretch and fit into things and he had to eat livers.
No,
it's actually a good one.
The roach episode.
Oh yeah,
they were in the wall. They were like under that guy's skin.
No,
and then,
you don't. The newer episodes when they get into the actual aliens infecting people and all that stuff, it gets
different. That was different.
No, they actually had the bugs and it shows it even more in depth.
No, I'm talking about the like hordes that were in the wall and the walls were rippling. And I just remember as a kid being so traumatized by that episode.
Those things were scary back then. I've gone back and watched some of those episodes later and I'm thinking these things really freak me out. I think the weirdest one was, do you remember the one where the guy, he could eat you? And if you had a disease, like say somebody had cancer, like he would have to consume you. And he would have to like start at the freaking feet and eat up.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
He would regurgitate you and you'd be fine. And it was left kind of open-ended, but I think, didn't he have to eat Scully? Because she had cancer or something.
Oh,
that must have been.
Do you remember that?
That must have been one of the latter episodes.
I vaguely remember
episodes.
that one. I do. I think I'm still traumatized by the bugs. That's the only one. Because I remember there was this part in the episode where they did this. They were like sliced open the guy's arm right here, and then one just crawled out, and I was just like, ah! Like,
That was like the one where the worms would get in your lungs and you had to smoke, or they would.
oh my god! Can you scroll right there?
And everybody was like going around having to smoke.
Yeah, they had some interesting episodes on there. I mean, like,
yeah, I mean, I always liked it.
The snake handler
but-
episode where
the bugs.
the priest got his the priest I think somehow got they were giving birth to snakes. People were, and it was just like
something
coming out of them. I can't remember it. And I remember seeing that as a kid. I was like, wow, this is cool. Fucking black metal. Yeah, let's go listen to some death metal and shit and Danzig and stuff.
All right, so where were we?
We were at the Roswell incident and the fact that Berlitz and Moore's narrative was the dominating version of the Roswell conspiracy during the 1980s.
So the book argues that an extraterrestrial craft was flying over the New Mexico desert to observe the nuclear weapon activity that they, had seen from a distance, apparently. When a lightning strike killed the alien crew. It alleges that after recovering the crashed alien technology, the U.S. government engaged in a cover-up to prevent mass panic. The Roswell incident quoted Marcel's later description of the debris as nothing made on this earth. The book claims that in some photographs, the debris discovered by Marcel had been substituted for the debris from a weather device, despite no visible differences in the photograph material. The book's claim of unusual debris were contradicted by the mundane details provided by Captain Sheridan Cavett, who had gathered the material with Marcel. The Roswell incident introduced alien bodies via the second-hand legends of deceased civil engineer Grady Barney Barnett, purportedly found by archaeologists on the plains of San Augustine.
His parents really didn't like him. Grady Barney Barnett.
No, his last name was Barnett. They
call him Barney.
Called him Barney.
Yeah.
The authors claim to have interviewed over 900. Wow, I wish. 90, not 900. 90 witnesses through the testimony of only, though the testimony of only like 25. Maybe appear in the book. Only 7 of them claim to have seen the debris. 5 of these, 5 claim to have handled it. Some elements of the witness accounts, like small alien bodies, indestructible metals, hieroglyphic writing, matched other crash saucer legends more than the 1947 reports from Roswell. Berlitz and Moore claim Scully's long discredited crash saucer hoax to be an account of the Roswell incident that mistakenly placed the area of the crash near Aztec, New Mexico. So Mac Brazil died in 1963 before interest in the Roswell debris was revived. Berlitz and Moore interviewed his surviving adult children, William Brazil Jr. and Bessie Brazil Schreiber. Brazil Jr.'s had described how the military arrested his father and then swore him to secrecy. However, during that time, Mac Brazil was alleged to have been in military custody. Multiple people reported seeing him in Roswell, and he provided an interview to local radio station KGFL. Schreiber, who had gathered debris metal with her father when she was 14, offered ufologists a description that matched the materials used by Project Mogul. There was what appeared to be pieces of heavily waxed paper, sort of like aluminum-like foil. Some of the metal foil pieces had a sort of tape stuck to them. And when they were held up to the light, they showed what looked like pastel flowers. Oh, I got to add that.
Wrapping paper.
Wrapping paper.
Right there, guys. This one.
He just wanted to get his mom a Mother's Day gift, whatever day Mother's Day is on for their people. I don't know.
Apparently. It was the day of the Roswell crash.
Mom, I got you this gift from this backwoods planet way out in the solar system somewhere else. I don't know.
Pretty much.
They had banjos. They didn't like people too much.
They said something about squealing pigs. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What about a purdy mouth? What does purdy mouth mean?
They weren't exactly too afraid of us. It was more like they didn't want us there.
This was the most xenophobic planet I've ever seen.
Yeah, we'll introduce the aliens to space racism. God, could you imagine it when it's finally...
Imagine being a racist snake.
Yeah. Can you imagine when it finally does, all this information does come out by aliens? Seriously, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's space racism. I mean, I play the games all the time. I play Helldivers and Space Marines. Space racism. Everyone's into it.
So now we're talking about Majestic 12 hoax.
You think my memes and reels are fucked up now? Wait till the aliens are discovered.
Look, Gazorpazorp would get rid of me for my bad bangs.
Gazorpazorp
field. Odd Mother, you have to watch Rick and Morty so you can get all of our stuff we're saying right now.
Why do the ones with bad bangs always have 3 names?
No, look, the human spaghetti episode was explained to me, and I got so sad and depressed.
But I didn't explain it all. That's the crazy part.
Here's the deal with that episode. You're going to be laughing your ass off, even at the very. You'll be in tears at the end of it.
You'll cry at the end.
You'll cry at the end of it, but you'll be like, they made me fucking laugh through that entire episode, and I was sad when I was laughing, but I was laughing, and then I was happy when it was over with. But it was cool. The entire Suicide Spaghetti episode makes you run the gambit of emotions, and it's awesome. It's one of the best episodes I've ever seen on TV.
It all started because I was like, I know the original band for this song. I know it. God, what is it?
Oasis.
It's Oasis.
You know that's Oasis? Was like, yeah, I knew that from the start.
Yeah, but my brain, I was like, I know this song. I've listened to this song.
She's like, well,
lately,
she's Oasis. I was like, yeah. I was like, Metallica cover. I was like, Metallica covers it, and it's a terrible cover because Metallica and Oasis doesn't go together. But it's one of James Hetfield's favorite bands, and then I remembered that. And then I had to go show her Lulu, which is Lou Reed's and Metallica's with Lou Reed singing for him, their album. That's an actual Metallica album.
Now I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head.
Maybe.
Lou Reed's like one of those weird singers to where I really like some of his songs, and then I hate the other ones.
I don't like that Metallica album. I can tell you this right now. I don't recommend it. I'm glad they had fun doing it. There is some talent.
Alien Tinfoil.
It's just not for me at all. At all.
Mm-hmm.
Alien Tinfoil Reads Be Kind Recycle. They crashed because they had to poop.
Lou Reed reminds me. He's not. No, I was about to say he's from Velvet Underground, but he's not. But it reminds me of that too. I'm not the biggest fan of Velvet Underground.
Wait,
there's some of their songs I like a lot,
exactly.
And the other ones I hate.
Yeah.
Is it?
What, the
inbred episode that was banned on TV is finally available on Hulu.
Leave it to Disney to allow an inbred episode to come. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Song of the South.
Song of the South.
And we actually have that one in the members area too.
Run, rabbit, run.
Wait till we
Run, rabbit, run.
Puff the Magic Dragon. I loved that show. But like, why was little Jackie Paper the way he was?
Because they're all smoking weed.
Oh yeah. Who's smoking weed?
Little Jackie Paper.
Yeah, little Jackie Paper. That's what Puff the Magic Dragon's about. Smoking weed.
Oh,
Puff
I knew that.
The Magic Dragon by the sea.
Was it Jason when I was like,
and frolicked in the autumn mist?
Someone was
in a land called Honolulu.
Yes.
Someone on your side of the family was all talking about it. I remember going, that's fucking about pot. And they're like, how do you know that's about pot? Puff the Magic Dragon. And it came out in the 60s.
And the kid's name was Jackie Paper.
And what is it? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is about LSD, I do believe.
Yeah.
If I'm not
Lucy in
mistaken.
the sky with diamonds.
LSD or cocaine. There's no in between on that one.
Oh, you made me think of I Am Sam when he named his kid Lucy Sky Diamond.
Mhm.
Lucy Sky Diamond. That was the kid's name in that. Anyway, Majestic 12.
Anywho.
Majestic 12 was the purported organization behind fake government documents delivered anonymously to multiple ufologists in the 1980s. You know what? I believe it, because we have gone through like all these years now of legacy media, like intentionally taking what should be like op-eds and speaking them as if they are truth.
Mhm.
So just saying.
They suck.
Yeah.
When you can literally do their job with your phone now by just filming.
Yeah, but you couldn't do that back then.
I'm just saying, you can literally do the legacy media's job by filming and then putting it up on social media.
Oh, well, that's why
That's how you do
that's why they're
things.
putting so much AI out there, because now you can't believe what you see.
I don't know. I can tell.
Well, I'm telling you, the minute that those tiny grotesque aviators start falling from the sky, I will be out there like Channel 12 News.
Yep.
Damn right. Well, I'm not gonna hit my head though.
I mean, I'll be suiting up.
I'll just take my umbrella. It depends on how tiny they are.
You have to understand.
It's gonna be Grogu like Roger from
all I'm saying is space racism. It's coming. It's coming. Space racism.
Massive. So, all individuals who received the fake documents were connected to Bill Moore. After the publication of the Roswell incident, Richard C. Dottie,
Dottie?
yeah, he has something to do with Mirage Men.
Oh, they're fucking with us now. Mirage Men, Majestic 12 hoax.
Yeah. He has something to do with the Mirage Men. And other.
Are those kind of like the Men in Black?
Well, no, well, kind of.
Well, no.
Yeah,
the Men in Black are different. Okay, Men in Black in reality are way different than Men in Black in the movies. So the Men in Black are actually aliens in reality. It's supposed to be.
Well, so
like Zuckerberg is still a lizard person.
Yeah, but he's cool now. He's good.
He looks at titties.
He finally got laid. Oh, that's what I've been missing? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna go do MMA now. Legit. That's what he does now.
Did you see? I mean, not to go down a rabbit hole, but did you see the rest of that? Like the before he got caught looking down Bezos's wife's shirt.
That
no.
RFK Jr. did the same thing. He was like, trying not to look, looking, and then the other senator next to him was like,
you know what Trump has done? He's surrounded himself with autistic MMA fighters and autistic nerds. They're all horny. And has a hot wife. And Trump has a hot wife too, but they know that hot wife is completely off limits.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
No worries. Let's see. Where was I?
Dinosaurs. I see dinosaurs.
We're talking about the Mirage Men.
Yes. So,
and Dottie
and other individuals presenting themselves as Air Force intelligence officers approached Moore. They used the unfulfilled promise of hard evidence of extraterrestrial retrievals to recruit Moore, who kept notes on other ufologists and intentionally spread information within the UFO community. Excuse me, who did that? The earliest known reference to MJ12, Majestic 12, comes from a 1981 document used in disinformation targeting Paul Benowitz. He was an American businessman and UFO investigator. According to some sources, Benowitz was the target of a government disinformation campaign that ultimately led to his psychiatric hospitalization, which sucks. They fucked with him so hard they lost his shit.
Yeah.
Well, he probably believed everything. Like, it would have been probably, this is what I'm assuming, that it was unrealized lies that they were telling him, and probably freaked him the hell out. You know what I'm saying? To where he just lost his shit.
Well, you're supposed to, like, that was still around a time when people weren't questioning the government as much, and then when you were questioning the government, you were just written off as a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And so, like,
well, it was,
he had these government people come to him and be like, hey,
they
here's
learned
all this shit.
They learned at this time that if because at the time people took things literally, they wasn't there were
This was like a
conspiracy,
psyops on him.
there wasn't so much conspiracy theories, but the government learned that if you flood everything with conspiracy theories, you can actually hide what really is going on here.
Well, yeah, because
Well, but
there might be a little bit. Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, well, think about this same time period. I mean, this would have been when the McMartin thing was going on with the daycare center, and people really believed that you could stand in a toilet and flush it, and it would take you to some sort of underground bunker. Now, come on, but people actually believe this shit.
Satan's fun slide, man. It's all golden going down there, right? To their calf, where they're gonna praise it and worship it and get the kids to be all into other things.
Hey,
like, I'm not over exaggerating, because I remember going, oh my God, and like everybody believed this crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, it was insane.
But I mean, what I was saying was, like, this was a time when people were still somewhat trusting the government for the most part. And there wasn't as much dissidence because, like, you had the people that didn't trust the government were just wackos, according to everybody else. And the people who were really legit trying to get to the bottom of things, even as crazy as they might have sounded, they were legit believing these people who would come forward and be like, hey, I'm part of the government. Here's some information. And then to have it not be true, they fucked this whole guy's brain up.
Oh yeah. God, I wish web pages could go into true dark mode. Like it's like dark mode around the border, and then the entire page is still white and blinds.
I forgot how to do it on this. I had it on dark mode on here.
Oh no, we'll figure it out. It's fine.
But so in 1982, Bob Pratt worked with Dottie and Moore on the Aquarius project.
Hey,
there's a lot of projects going on.
Well, I mean, Operation Monarch had and MK Ultra. Well, so MK Ultra had like 160 underneath it that we know of. So, like Operation Midnight Climax, still my favorite one. Screw all the other ones. That one's the best. Let's give people a whole lot of LSD and buy them a hooker. Look.
And let's just watch what happens.
From a two-sided mirror. Have fun, guys! Woo! Some of the people were like, let's do this again! I don't know what that was, but she did a damn good job. And I climaxed at midnight. In 1982, Bob Pratt worked with Dottie and Moore on the Aquarius project, an unpublished science fiction manuscript about the purported organization. Moore had initially planned to do a nonfiction book, but lacked the evidence. During a phone call about the manuscript, Moore explained that to Pratt, that his goal was to get as much of the story out with as little fiction as possible. That same year, Moore, Friedman, and Jamie Shandera began to work on KPIX TV UFO documentary. And Moore shared the original Majestic 12 memo mentioning Benowitz. The KPIX TV contacted the Air Force, who noted many style and formatting errors. Moore admitted that he had typed and stamped the document as a facsimile. On November 11th of 1984, Shandera received the first anonymous package containing photographs of the Majestic 12 documents just after a phone call from Moore. The anonymously delivered documents detailed the creation of a likely fictitious Majestic 12 group formed to handle the Roswell debris.
Did they even have facsimiles at that time?
I don't know. I mean, like, oh, wow, here we go. Meh, meh, meh. Copy. I mean,
I'm sure the government probably did, but how would he get a hold of one?
well, okay, so here's what I'm trying to, because I mean, a facsimile is just like essentially an exact copy of a printed material. So like it was
So
just
it's not necessarily over some sort of fax machine.
no, a facsimile, not fax, not FAX. Facsimile would be like he sent out what looked like the original, but it wasn't the original, therefore he had the original copy with him. So that
Okay.
nobody could ever screw him over.
I got you.
On December 11th, 1984, he received that, Shindera received the anonymous package with the photographs after getting off the call with more. And it was apparently a likely fictitious grouping of photos and documents and stuff like that. At a 1989 Mutual UFO Network conference, Moore confessed that he had intentionally fed fake evidence on extraterrestrials to UFO researchers, including Vinowitz.
I bet you that conference smelled like sourdough too.
Probably did. Dottie later said that he gave fabricated information to
Fucking
UFO researchers
nerds.
while working at Kirtland Air Force Base in the 80s.
Is that like
that's in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Is that like the off-brand like Costco?
Not Kirkland. Kurt with a T.
Yeah, Kurt's bland.
All the air servicemen there or whatever, they're like, yeah, what do you want? They don't even salute you when you come in there. They just like smoke and like look at you.
They all have gravelly voices.
Yeah.
That was more Rick and Morty references.
I do the gravelly voice, but Aki doesn't like the gravelly voice. I'm sorry that I have a rapey, pedophile voice.
That's not a gravelly voice. That's rapey.
I really want to do it.
Not pedophile. Don't even ever say that.
No, you know what?
That's like grandpa.
Look, I do have a child's bladder. Okay, that's why I got up. All right.
Anyhow.
I had to go make sure it was hidden before the cops got here and take it back to the morgue in the morning.
I have the heart of a boy in a jar on my desk.
It's medicinal.
To quote Stephen King.
You know the shit part is this is gonna be one of our best episodes, and it's the same shit as it was when we showed ding dongs on freaking YouTube. Gonna go into the we're gonna show this later pile.
Anyway, sorry.
You guys missed it. You definitely missed it.
Yes. We still have it. We're just gonna have to we're gonna have to put it up on my fans page or something.
Okay, I forgot to say this because I haven't fully got it set up, but I do have it set up somewhat. But I do have our paid section set up on Spreaker where you can get us without commercials. So, and then I'm going to set at least the audio stuff up on that too.
Although if we have commercials, we make money off the commercials.
Yeah, just like we do. Well, no, they pay to come into the club, and we make money off that.
Anywho,
so
I am still not through Majestic 12.
Yeah, we have 2 more hours.
I'm not doing that.
I'm kidding.
I refuse. So, Roswell conspiracy proponents turned on Moore, but not the broader conspiracy theory. The Majestic 12 materials have been heavily scrutinized and discredited. The various purported memos existed only as copies of photographs of documents. Carl Sagan criticized the complete lack of provenance of documents miraculously dropped on a doorstep like something out of a fairy tale, perhaps the elves and the shoemakers. Researchers noted that the idiosyncratic date format not found in government documents from the time that they were purported to originate but widely used in Moore's personal notes. Some signatures appear to be photocopied from other documents. For example, a signature from President Harry Truman is identical to one from an October 1st, 1947 letter to Vannevar Bush. So, I guess to make note, nobody has the same signature twice. You have a very similar signature that you do. You have the way that you do your stuff. You know, like me, I personally try to make it as much of a scribble as possible.
Yeah, they
But
usually,
nobody has the same loops twice. Nobody has the same length of stroke twice. And you could also tell what kind of mood somebody was in when they were signing their own signature. So if they had a signature that looked identical in every way to Truman's from another letter, it was copied.
yeah.
As much as I want to believe all this shit. I don't want to be the only thing out here because humans suck.
Not to say that a president couldn't have a stamp.
That's true too. I mean, like, I feel it's very likely that.
Of course, a politician has a rubber stamp. Come on now, every one of them has a rubber stamp.
How do you think all those documents were signed by Biden?
Those weren't signed by Biden. I'm just coming out and saying I don't give a fuck anymore. That was signed by Jill Biden or Camel Toe Harris.
Hey, look, Dan, you're supposed to be signing this. There's like little stick figures drawn all over.
Oh, come on, man.
He's all happy to.
Look, Dad's home. We can say what the fuck we want now.
So, in this variant of the Roswell legend, the bodies were ejected from the craft shortly before it exploded over the ranch. The propulsion unit is destroyed, and the government concludes that the ship was a short-range reconnaissance craft. The following week, the bodies are recovered some miles away, decomposing from exposure and scavengers. So, a short-range it was Roger. It was Roger from American Dad. And then years later, he found out that it was a short-range reconnaissance, and he cried.
Seriously though,
didn't know he was supposed to die.
This is not the first time we've came to this conclusion. Well, Roswell, 1947. There's a few times where I've been stoned or a little buzz from drinking, going, "Wait a second, this is exactly like Roger's history and everything like that." And I was like, Roger's not even fucking real, man. It's literally like it's a character played by what's his face, Seth MacFarlane. I have to remind myself that every time.
Like, yeah, but Roger rocks.
Yeah, Roger does.
And he's fast. So the role of do we want to get into this one, or do we want to move forward with like?
Let's move forward.
Competing accounts and no. Oh.
I'd say
in 1991, Kevin Randall and Donald Schmidt published UFO Crash at Roswell. It sold 160,000 copies and served as the basis for the 1994 television film Roswell. Randall and Schmidt added testimony from 100 new witnesses. Though hundreds of people were interviewed by various researchers, only a few claimed to have seen debris or aliens. According to PFLOC, of the 300 plus individuals reportedly interviewed for UFO Crash at Roswell, only 23 could be reasonably thought to have seen physical evidence and debris. Of these, only 7 asserted anything suggestive of otherworldly origins for the debris. The book claimed that General Arthur Exon had been aware of debris and bodies, but Exon disputed his depiction. So Arthur Ernest Exon was a brigadier general of the United States Air Force who oversaw the Cold War era deployment of Jupiter missiles to Italy and Turkey. A World War II fighter pilot, Exon was a recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross. Just to let you guys know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn Dennis's claim. Oh, sorry, what?
I was going to say that picture of the alien on a slab right there is pretty suggestive.
No, it reminds me of it's from Roswell. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say it reminds me of a movie. It's from Roswell, movie. I've seen it before. That's how I know that.
Wasn't that part of that whole thing they aired on TV that was supposed to the alien autopsy or whatever? That like everybody was like, ooh, it's a real alien.
It was actually called Alien Autopsy. I watched the shit out of that when I was a kid. I was like, this is real. Oh my God, Dad, there's aliens. And he's like, seriously?
This is like trying to watch what's his name? Geraldo, like find something in Al Capone's script. I remember watching that. Sat there for an hour. Well, we're gonna find something any minute.
And nothing.
And
Not the group harassers.
Just like Alien Autopsy. I mean, Geraldo Rivera, just like Geraldo Rivera, Alien Autopsy came back to it multiple times. It wasn't just the one. Like, dude, he wasn't there the first time. Al Capone's not coming back.
I know.
So Glenn Dennis's claims of an alien autopsy and Grady Barnett's alien body accounts appeared in the book. However, the dates and locations of Barnett's account and the Roswell incident were changed without explanation. Brazil was described as leading the army to a second crash site on the ranch where they were supposedly horrified to find civilians, including Barnett, there already. Also, in 1991, retired Air Force Brigadier General Thomas Dubois, who had posed with debris for press photographs in 1947, acknowledged the weather balloon explanation for the material was a cover story to divert the attention from the press.
Now, that's the second time they've said something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get a space racism yet?
No, we're not. So, in 1992, Stanton Friedman released Crash at Corona, co-authored by Don Berliner. The book introduced new witnesses and added the narrative by doubling the number of flying saucers to 2. The number of aliens to 8.
Dose.
2 of which were said to have survived and been taken into custody by the government. Friedman interviewed Lydia Sleppy, the teletype operator who years earlier had said that she was ordered not to transmit a crash saucer story. Friedman attributed Sleppy's account to FBI usage of an alleged nationwide surveillance system that he believed was put in place following an earlier crash. However, no evidence was found that the FBI had ever monitored any transmissions from her radio station. And I'm putting this all in quotes because we all know that this happens. Speaking of which.
And they would never do anything like put, I don't know, LSD in like a whole town's drinking water.
No, never.
Never.
They sure didn't do it here in Bakersfield. Otherwise, we would have had some fun. Let's go do it in the Midwest. What about here, man?
No. They know Californians are a little bit crazy. We're not the Wild West. Nothing.
No.
They were like, what's the test results? Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing to see here.
If we give them LSD, they're going to not fill their reservoirs.
Dun, dun, dun.
Those Californians are crazy. They just don't like filling reservoirs over there for some odd reason.
Yeah, there was no evidence that the FBI had ever monitored any transmission from her radio station. Yeah, right. Friedman's description of her typing as interrupted by an FBI message and more claim that the machine suddenly stopped itself were found to be impossible for the teletype model that Sleppy operated in 47. In 1994, Randall and Schmidt authored another book, The Truth About the UFO Crash at Roswell, which claimed a cargo plane delivered alien bodies to Dwight D. Eisenhower. The book abandoned the Barnett crash site on the plains of San Augustine as lacking evidence and contradicting its framework of the Roswell event. Randall and Schmidt proposed a new crash site 35 miles north of Roswell based on statements from Jim Ragsdale and Frank Kaufman. The book hid Kaufman's identity behind the pseudonym Steve McKenzie, but Kaufman appeared in the 1995 British television documentary, The Roswell Incident, using his real name. Kaufman claimed he monitored the UFO's path on radar and discovered debris from a crashed spaceship similar to the shape of an F-117 stealth fighter.
Been a lot cooler if they named it the Big
So the Lockheed
Book.
Nighthawk.
The Big Book of British Aliens.
So like this was the Skunk Works which we took a picture of recently, by the way. I wish we could pull it up.
Yeah, Skunk Works is rad. It's like right there off one of the main highways right there.
When we went to see Poor Fanatica.
Poor Fanatica. No, just outside of
we
Lancaster.
drove by Skunk Works.
Skunk Works is right there. It is right out in the open.
And I was all taking pictures.
You would think
what is Skunk Works?
That's where Lockheed...
It's a division of the it's the Lockheed, yeah.
So there's Edwards Air Force Base, then there's it's all right there, and it goes between Kern County and LA County, and then you have Lancaster, which is in LA County, and then you have Roseman, which is over here in Kern County, and that's where Edwards is, and then Lockheed is in Lancaster, and it's all one big strip right there. And you would think that Lockheed being Lockheed Skunk Works, where all the top secret stuff takes place, all the testing and everything, that would be further back in the desert, but no, it's right there.
It's just right there.
Yep.
That's wild.
It's like the coolest thing ever too.
Nothing to see here.
Yep.
It was so cool. I was taking pictures the whole time I'm passing by it.
Oh, they have guards. They absolutely have guards up.
Yeah, like
you get too close to the fence, they come out and they're like, "No, you can't be here right now. You can't take pictures of this."
So, but it was cool because it does have a skunk on the side.
They had a trailer park across the way. No joke. It's basically where all the brothels are. There's ladies of the night out there when we were going through it. We're like, oh my god, there's some ladies of the nights right here, and there's the Air Force Base right there. It all makes sense.
I'm going across the street for a minute.
Back to the Nighthawk. So the F-117 is the Lockheed Nighthawk. It's a retired American single-seat subsonic twin-engine stealth attack aircraft developed by Lockheed's not so secretive, Skunk Works division and operated by the United States Air Force. It was the first operational aircraft to be designed with stealth technology.
You know, the crazy thing is, I was telling Autumn about it earlier, is stealth craft are they're insanely stealthy, actually.
When I was a kid, the stealth bomber was always my favorite.
When they're going, I've seen the stealth bomber.
Was that the black one that had the weird wings?
Yeah, it's the one big
like
wing.
the triangle.
Well, you'll see them out near Edwards. You'll see them flying every now and then. And when they're like this, you can clearly tell it's the stealth bomber. When it's like this, you can't even see them.
Yeah, it's a
wow.
It's the with the F-22
so cool.
The F-22 Raptors. That's what I was telling you about earlier today. They are so loud when they're taking off, but the minute they're just a little bit away from you, like maybe half a mile, you can't hear them like normal jets, and you can't see them. Like they're just thin in the air.
That makes sense. Okay, so I don't know if I ever told you the story, but when me and Odd Daughter went out to Birmingham, we were coming back, and when you come back, you have to go through this whole lake community, and it's a big lake, and it's like several times you go over the lake. So, and there's certain times to where you can look out and you can see to the horizon line because it's just lake. You know what I'm saying? Almost like looking out into the ocean. It's just a big lake. And we saw 3 look like military planes out there that were flying. And I'm not kidding you. When we went, because it was like, you know, solid road, and then you go over water, and then you solid ground, and then water. And on the solid ground, a lot of times you'll have like a couple of little stray like trees pop up. And we literally, it took maybe half a second to go past that little clump of trees, and the planes were just gone. They were just like poof. So that makes sense. I wonder if it were some sort of plane like that.
Yeah, it's not that it's their cross sections are so. It's
also the color that they paint the bottom of the stealth bombers.
The F-22s. Well, the F-22s is what I was talking about, where it's not. It's literally the color of the sky on the bottom. It's and their cross section, even though they're gigantic planes when you're up close to them, but when they're in the sky, they quite literally their cross section is so small. Like you can't. It's just the way they're built.
They had to have been turning or something when we saw them, and then when they straightened out, you couldn't see them.
Yeah, once they go like this, and it's just their wing. They have on radar. They have they're the size of a bumblebee on radar. That's insanely small.
That had to have been what it was then, because I was like, I know I'm not losing my mind, because I was just watching these planes, and then they just bloop, they're gone.
Yeah. It's not like they turn on like some cloaking device. Yeah, it's just the
No.
way they're designed when they move a certain way, and they know how to keep them in
Mhm.
those positions, and you just can't see them.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was just letting you talk. So they were saying that the debris recovered from the crash for the spaceship were similar to the shape of the Nighthawk.
Mhm.
Kaufman's statements did not match the personnel at the base, his service record, the radar technology available, or the known topography of the proposed crash site. Jim Ragsdale claimed that while driving home along Highway 285 with his girlfriend Trudy Truelove. Okay, come on. That is a made up fucking name.
Trudy Truelove.
Trudy Truelove. That is a porn name.
Yeah.
Trudy Truelove is a made up fucking name.
Well,
He did not have a girlfriend named Trudy Truelove.
no, it was almost pass around Sue, but they were like, you know what? Let's not. That's obvious. We'll just call her Trudy Truelove.
Finger fucking
Maybe
salad.
she lived in that trailer park across the street.
They would have called her finger cuffs, but that hadn't been invented yet.
Well, I was into whips and things. She was God. Oh my God. Trudy Truelove. Seriously? Trudy Truelove. You guys could have come up with a better name.
Well, what is this from? Like the 90s? So these people are from. When was this from?
This one, well, maybe it was the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. So these people are at least. I mean, they're writing their books in the 90s. They're actually they grew up in like the 50s.
They're trying to think of things from the 50s, like to use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess.
So clearly,
Jim
everyone was
Ragsdale and Trudy Truelove.
So any chick who's going to be out in the desert looking for aliens was clearly a loose woman, right? So it was called Trudy Truelove.
True love sound no. If you say true love, then she's probably not a prostitute.
No, she's a hooker with a heart of gold.
Okay, I was going the other direction. Oh, boy. I see where this is about to go right now, and I'm not going to be able to stop anybody from talking in just 2 seconds.
What?
They watched the craft that was narrow with bat-like wings. And go.
I'm not even thinking of porn or gigantic vagina lips. I'm thinking of the movie The Craft. You were like, they watched The Craft. I was like, really? They sat down and watched The Craft?
No. Trudy Truelove saw The Craft, and it was narrow with bat-like wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The XY.
Much like the stealth bomber.
Yep.
I don't know what to push here.
A
I have
later-
all my buttons out of order. There we go. Crickets. Batwing vagina.
All those would be appropriate.
Wait. Hold on.
Jowls like my mastiff.
Trudy Truelove.
Oh, if people can hear it. Dun 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 dun.
Anyway, a later interview with Ragsdale clarified that his alleged crash site was nowhere near either the purported Barnett or Kaufman site, or that Trudy Truelove existed. No, that's not true. He never admitted that.
Oh my goodness. So True Love does something else too. Keep going.
She does that thing that every dude likes.
Keep going.
In future interviews, Ragsdale's story grew to bizarre details, such as Ragsdale and Truelove removing 11 golden helmets from the alien aircraft to bury in the desert.
Just say you don't like to wear condoms. That's all you have to say. We moved 11 golden helmets.
I think they were doing some LSD out in the deserts, what I think. That or some peyote.
It's beautiful. Everything is so beautiful.
Look how those tiny, grotesque, like aviators glow like gold.
Look at the grotesque childlike aviators.
They're pulling a Crowley right now, like just going out in the desert and be at a power bottom until they see God.
Crowley.
By the way, Crowley was the most epic power bottom of them all. Look it up. He was aggressive with it.
So, Air Force response. We already read that response, so I'm not really too worried about it. Alien autopsies.
There we go. Here's the alien autopsies.
Pseudo documentaries, most notably Alien Autopsy, Fact or Fiction, have taken a major role in shaping popular opinion of Roswell. In 1995, British entrepreneur Ray Santilli claimed to have footage of an alien autopsy filmed after the 1947 Roswell crash, purchased from an elderly Army Air Force cameraman. Alien Autopsy centers around Santilli's hoaxed footage, which it presents as a probable artifact of the government's investigation into Roswell. The purported cameraman Barnett had died in 1967 without ever serving in the military. The visual effects expert Stan Winston.
I forgot that was Stan Winston.
So for the record, Stan Winston has a school here for special effects in Los Angeles.
His most
hopefully it's still around. But,
notable work that you would actually know of him, if you don't know who Stan Winston is Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Terminator.
Jurassic Park, Terminator series, Aliens.
He was right there with James Cameron. Yep.
The first two Predator movies, Inspector Gadget, Iron Man, Edward Scissorhands.
All the big movie directors use him and his props, everything, his school, all that stuff.
For the SFX.
I've always wanted to go to his school, but I'm allergic to latex.
Look, you can buy his videos.
I know
his classes.
He's
but
very
I'm allergic to latex.
He's very open source with the stuff he did. He's all about helping people out. But the Alien Autopsy, I know we made jokes about it earlier, but the documentary is actually pretty cool to watch. It's
a cool
they did do
movie.
a good job with it and being eerie and creepy and stuff like that, and having that old school 90s vibe to it with the docs.
So I forgot where I was now.
You were right there.
Visual effects expert Stan Wilson.
Yeah.
So Stan Winston told newspapers that Alien Autopsy had misrepresented his conclusion that Santilli's footage was an obvious fake. In a 2006 documentary, Santilli admitted that the footage was fabricated, filmed on set, and built in a London living room. Over 20 million viewers watched the purported autopsy. Fox aired the program immediately before and implicitly connected the fictional X-Files, which later parodied the film. Alien Autopsy established a template for future pseudo-documentaries built on questioning a presumed government cover-up. Though thoroughly debunked, core UFO believers many of whom still accept earlier hoaxes like Aztec crash, weighed the autopsy footage as additional evidence strengthening the connection between Roswell and extraterrestrials.
You know, if the government would actually just said, screw it, we're not going to, I don't know, try to block all these conspiracy theories and just say, we're going to let these people have fun the same way we do with Bigfoot. It would probably not even, no one would be even talking about this now.
Well, look, didn't they try to come out with some stuff like 2 years ago and then 2 years before that? And people were like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Recently recently they came out with the underwater aliens. The one that are like, no,
that one's cool.
The one where like, there's actually an unknown underwater craft that we know nothing about that can defy the laws of physics. And people are like, meh.
Exactly.
Can you imagine this if it was the early 2000s or during the Bush eras with that and the government?
Oh my! People would have been running around with their hair on fire.
Yeah. They basically said, "Hey, Pacific Rim, interdimensional aliens do exist, and they're under the water. We know more about space than we do about water.
They live in the nope zone."
So Roswell as modern myth and folklore, the mythology of Roswell involving increasingly elaborate accounts of alien crash landings and government cover-ups has been analyzed and documented by social anthropologists and skeptics. Anthropologists Susan Harding and Kathleen Stewart highlight the Roswell story as a prime example of how a discourse moved from the fringes to the mainstream, aligning with the 1980s zeitgeist of public fascination with conspiracy, cover-up, and repression. Skeptic Joe Nickel and skeptic James McGaha proposed that Roswell's time spent away from the public attention allowed the development of a mythology drawing from later UFO folklore, and that early debunking of the incident created space for ufologists to intentionally distort the accounts towards sensationalism. Charles Ziegler argues that the Roswell story exhibits characteristics typical of additional folklore narratives. He identifies 6 distinct narratives and a process of transmission through storytellers, wherein a core story was formed from various witness accounts and then shaped and altered by those involved in the UFO community. Additional witnesses were sought to expand upon the core narrative, while accounts that did not align with the prevailing beliefs were discredited or excluded by the gatekeepers. So,
who's the Keymasters?
I don't know. So a quick timeline here. So the Roswell incident development, documented historical evidence, foils, sticks, durable paper, rubber strips, tape, found near Corona, New Mexico on Brazil's ranch. Bodies, none. Aztec hoax, super strong metal, alien writings, crashed spaceship, crash near Aztec, New Mexico, 16 small humanoid alien corpses in crash saucers, also known as grotesque child-sized aviators. Roswell.
I was going to ask, do you think at this point, like what we were just talking about, like if they actually did release, like if there really were aliens or whatever, and they actually released the information about Roswell, I don't know if anybody would believe it at this point because they've just discombobulated the whole story so many times. You just be like,
I don't think there's going to be any shock value is what it is when they do if they whatever they released here. And honestly, the best way to gauge with what they're hiding now, in 2 weeks when they release when the RFK documents or the assassination documents are released, the JFK ones and the MLK ones, we're going to see exactly how they cover this stuff up or what they do, because we're going to see what they did with this for the assassination documents. And then we're going to go over here and look at this and we're like, oh, okay, now we can actually start deciphering this and what they did here. So
yeah, but one thing though, I think might be misleading is the way that it was worded.
Yeah.
When they said that they were going to release this, there still may be redacted.
Oh, I absolutely do believe there's going to be redacted stuff in there, but even with the redacted stuff in there, people can put 2 and 2 together. A lot of documents that are released with the redacted lines, all that other stuff, 90% of the times people figure it out like right away. It just makes it in an official sense. They're like, okay, we're not going to exactly see who did this, even though we can see who did this. I mean, look what happened with Kemper on one of his gun charges. They literally just crossed out that he was a murderer.
Yeah.
And they went back and looked. They're like, oh shit, he's a murderer or whatever it
was. Well, talking about those grotesque child-sized aviators, I do have a fringe theory here.
Oh,
you want to hear it?
Yeah, okay. I was just going through the timeline.
Oh, in 2011, Jacobson, who is Ann Jacobson, who's an American journalist. Anyway, in her Area 51 or 2011 Area 51, an uncensored history of America's top secret military bases, featured a claim that the Nazi doctor Joseph Mengele was recruited by Soviet leader Joseph Stalin to produce the grotesque child-sized aviators to cause hysteria.
And that's how we got Dachau. Wow, never mind.
Great.
What?
All right. So after the Aztec hoax, there was the Roswell incident in 1980. Super strong, lightweight metal sheets, alien writing.
Aliens.
Struck by lightning near Alamogordo, New Mexico. Crashed on the plains of San Agustin,
I can tell
Small
you.
humanoid alien corpses near San Augustine.
I can tell you what's not in. What is in New Mexico now? Lots of meth.
Lots of meth.
Tumbleweeds?
No,
and tumbleweed.
Meth. Lots of meth. Majestic 12 hoax pieces of short-range reconnaissance craft, alien writing exploded northwest of Roswell, scattered debris over a large area. 4 badly decomposed humanoid corpses near Roswell. UFO crash at Roswell, 1991. Superior, strong, lightweight metal sheets, alien writing crashed once near Corona, New Mexico on Brazel's Ranch, crashed completely 2 miles southeast of Brazel's Ranch. 4 decomposed and partially eaten humanoid corpses near Roswell. Crashed at Corona, 1992. Super strong, lightweight metal sheets. Alien writing landed once near Corona, New Mexico on Brazil's Ranch. Exploded near Corona, New Mexico. 4 humanoid corpses in escape pods near Roswell. 3 humanoid corpses near San Augustine. 1 surviving extraterrestrial humanoid near San Augustine. Roswell in perspective, 1994. Fragments with symbols. Super strong, lightweight sheet metals. A narrow craft with bat-like wings north of Roswell. Got to look out for that Trudy Lovewell.
True love.
True love.
True love, more true love.
Landed once near Corona, New Mexico on Brazil's Ranch. Struck a cliff 35 miles north of Roswell. 3 humanoid corpses north of Roswell. 1 living humanoid pilot north of Roswell. The truth about the UFO crash at Roswell, 1994. Super strong, lightweight metal sheets. An intact craft with bat-like wings. Landed once near Corona, New Mexico on Brazil's Ranch. Crashed once near Brazil's Ranch. Crashed completely into cliff north of Roswell. 3 humanoid corpses in the craft. 1 surviving extraterrestrial in the craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I mean, yeah, that's about it.
That's it. We're done.
Oh, well, we do have one more. One more.
Go ahead.
Widespread speculation of a cover-up led to the United States presidents being questioned about Roswell incidents. In a 2014 interview with Bill Clinton, when the Roswell thing came up, I knew we'd get gazillions of letters. So I had all the Roswell papers reviewed, everything. Clinton's administration found no evidence of alien contact or crashed ships. When asked during a 2015 interview with GQ magazine, really GQ, about whether he had looked at top secret classified information, Obama replied, "I got to tell you, it's a little disappointing. People always ask me about Roswell and the aliens and the UFOs, and it turns out the stuff going on that's top secret isn't nearly as exciting as you'd expect. In this day and age, it's not as top secret as you'd think."
Really?
In December of 2020, Obama joked with Stephen Colbert, "It used to be that UFOs and Roswell were the biggest conspiracy, and now it seems so tame, the idea that the government might have an alien ship." In June of 2020, Donald Trump, when asked if he would consider releasing more information about the Roswell incident, he said, "I won't talk to you about what I know about, but it's very interesting." He's the one.
That sounds like like he just trolled the media.
Well, yeah, Trump just trolled him, but
I can't talk about that.
But when you have Obama going, "Oh, it's not as interesting as you think about it." No, actually, you just said it's more interesting than what I actually believe it is. And I better go.
I really want to hear about it now.
Because you're being all like, "Oh my God, this is for us," and you guys are all beneath me, like always.
That is about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
There's obviously more. You can go look at thehistorychannel.com. You can go look at People Magazine, their website. You can go to the Air Force, look at some of the places that we were getting the info from. Live Science is a place where we got some of the info from it as well. You could go look at all these places because obviously we did not cover every little tidbit in every one of these.
No.
No, but it was a good explanation for somebody that may not be super familiar with exactly what all went into the Roswell incident. Basically, it was just a huge clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It, something crashed out there. They quite literally didn't know how to handle it, knew what it was. And now California's burning.
Yeah.
On purpose.
70 years later. Sorry.
So the next episode, we're gonna start getting into Betty and Barney Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one is super interesting.
I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot what we were going to do next. Because I was like, and then I started thinking about it, I was like, hey, Roswell was my idea. You guys figured it out. I'm just
Roswell
kidding.
was not your
Well, no, I
idea.
thought this was going to be like Alien Month.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Roswell was not your idea. It was ours. And so we are going to talk about Betty and Barney Hill. And if you guys don't know who they are probably the most famous account, earlier account, I should say, of
they're famous
of an alien abduction. And if you want a little bit of a reference, if you've seen American Horror Story Asylum, some of the story in there is based loosely on their accounts.
So the thing with Betty and Barney Hill, the thing that's really famous with them, it's the first time they used hypnotism to find out what was going on. And her account was
scarier.
Well, it was scary. Yeah, it was very scary. Not scary in a bad way, scary as in awestruck, because she described being taken to the planet, giant emerald pyramids and all this other stuff. But it kind of did start the whole thing with using hypnotism to figure out what was going on with people, what was repressed memories and stuff like that. And
so
her account was people believed that she was being truthful about it because there's no proof of it. But other people, when they took that and they used it with other people, was like, oh, it's just they're kind of making shit up now.
Right.
I mean, like, part of it also, which I'll give you guys a little bit of a tidbit here, was that I believe it was in the early 60s, like 61 when it happened.
Hers, was it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. September. It was Portsmouth in New Hampshire in September of 61.
Yeah.
And one of the big things that makes it such an interesting story is that they're a mixed race couple. So they were already having to deal with a lot when it came on that front. And so a lot of people discounted him simply for that reason.
Oh, yeah.
Which is insane. I mean, it's insane in our eyes the way that we see it these days. But like people just tried to chalk it up to, oh, they were attacked by people who didn't agree with their lifestyle.
They were attacked by wombats, rabid wombats.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a little tidbit about it, but I'm not going to get in more depth because it is a very, very good account to read, to read about, to listen to. So again, if you guys haven't, you feel free to go watch American Horror Story Asylum. They kind of switched up some roles and changed a few things around, so it's not exactly their story, but it's very loosely based on it, and it was a really good series. And it was kind of cool that they brought to light something that hadn't really been talked about in a while.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
But yeah,
I think it's going to be a great episode because there's people that aren't really into UFOs or ufology. A lot of people don't know about the Betty and Barney Hill story.
No.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Well, I mean, it's crazy to me as somebody who loves to look into this kind of stuff. So,
well, for me with aliens is like I have to be in the mood for it. It's different. It hits differently. Like true crime, serial killers. Obviously, that's what we do, or at least. But aliens, I can get burnt out on it pretty fast. That's the thing with it. It's hard to stay into it when I'm not focused on it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I think the one that scared me the most was the one that was based on, was it Travis Walton?
Oh,
Fire in the Sky.
Yeah.
That movie actually scared the shit out of me when I saw it for the first time.
That's
you seen
more
Nope?
close to what aliens would do if they abducted us. It's, hey,
Mhm.
we're higher life forms than you, or we believe ourselves to be, or they might be. Who knows? And they're like, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna cut you open and see how you tick, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Nope?
Yes.
Yes.
I've seen it.
That was a great one.
You know what I
Oh.
really liked about it is that they took it a step further.
Mhm.
Because, you know, most movies are like, okay, here's the abduction, and then you don't really see more past that. Or if you do see more, it's your typical, oh, we're gonna anal probe and have you on a table and check you
Nope.
out. No. They just like give a much deeper description of what that thing is. And I'm trying not to spoil this for people. So
Well,
I'm like
Right.
kind of being a
the best
little
way to
weird.
describe it is we were going through all this together and we were stoned, and then all of a sudden I was like, why do they call it that? And we went through a little bit further and we're like, is
Nope.
it this? And it's like, nope. And I was like, oh, that's why he called it that. It's all nope. Are you gonna go outside? Nope. Are you gonna do this? Nope.
Nope.
Dude,
Are you gonna look up? Nope.
yeah, Peele is so freaking hilarious, and I love his movies.
And I know that it wasn't supposed to be a comedy. Like it really wasn't. But I love that he did throw just a few little tidbits of comedy your way. So
It
you're
was a
like,
great movie. It was
Yeah,
a
by the
great
time you
movie.
get to it-
Whether you're into alien abductions or aliens or not, it was just a good movie.
oh, that scene, and I'm not ruining anything because they showed it as the freaking trailer.
it's a good explanation too. Sorry, I'm just saying it is a good explanation. It's more plausible for me to think that's possible than aliens coming across from light years and light years away without it being interdimensional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know what I was gonna say.
Oh, you're talking about something that they showed in the trailer.
Oh, do you remember the scene where the wind blows and it exposes somebody's face?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's so crazy because you think one thing based off the trailer. And then when you know what it actually is, it's like
Completely different.
whoa. Cause like you totally think one aspect of it.
Uh-huh.
And then I love how he did that because he was like, oh no, I'm gonna screw with people now.
Yeah.
And make them think that this is this one thing. And then when they show it, it's not as in depth as you would think.
You know, it's
Yeah.
what I find actually really awesome about that movie. Keegan. What's his first? Jordan Peele. There you go. Jordan Peele brought back Michael Winkoff, who literally has been one of the greatest villains in like B movies and like 90s movies. He was the villain in The Crow. He was the main villain in The Crow with Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
And I was like, and all of a sudden, like we were watching that, I couldn't think of his name right now. I looked him up, and I was like, freaking Michael Winkoff right there, out of nowhere. He's the eccentric filmographer in it, which is rad.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It was a good movie.
All right, guys.
Well, with that, thank you guys for joining us all tonight. We really appreciate it. And we will be back with Betty and Barney Hill
next Saturday.
I said that right.
Yeah. However you want to say it. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
I know set the world on fire.